Too easy.
It's too easy.
Too easy.
That's right. Gervonta, Tank Davis versus me, baby.
Career's not over just because you fighting Jake Paul. Jake Paul ain't no type of demon. It's not like he about to go in there with Godzilla. You about to play around for 8 rounds, 2 minutes with a dickhead. You know what I mean? No disrespect, but you know, with somebody that think they know how to fight. This is a still.
Floyd Mayweather has finally broken his silence on the highly hyped bout between Gervonta Tank Davis and Jake Paul. In his first public comments, Mayweather didn't mince words, offering a critical assessment of the clash. He praised Tank Davis's exceptional power and skill, emphasizing that Davis is a formidable force in the ring. Regarding Jake Paul, Mayweather expressed skepticism about Paul's rapid rise in boxing, questioning whether his success is built on genuine skill or the spectacle surrounding his persona.
Boxing has gone too far. Jake Paul is taking on Gervonta Tank Davis in an exhibition bout this November. The fight will be taking place in Atlanta between the cruiserweight and the 135-pounder, nearly a 100-pound difference between the two guys. This is absolutely insane. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments down below.
Mayweather Jr. recently spoke out about Jake Paul, making it clear that the YouTuber-turned-boxer cannot truly compete with elite professional fighters. Mayweather emphasized that while Paul has generated attention and built a fan base, his skills do not match those of real champions who've spent years perfecting their craft. He further pointed out that if Davis has to face Jake Paul, it would have to be a fight purely for money, not credibility. According to Mayweather, such a matchup could risk damaging Tank's boxing legacy, as beating Paul adds nothing to his career while losing would be disastrous.
But Jake Paul, I mean, as of right now, for what he's doing, it's good for what he's doing. But once he fights a real fighter, it's going to be bad.
Have you been impressed?
But one thing I like about him, one thing I do like about him, he's selling it. He's selling it, and he's making good money, and he's entertaining. I like it.
Is he? And Floyd, there were many people who believe you're the most talented fighter ever. Period. So whatever you say to this question, I think is important. Are you impressed? Does he have boxing ability, or is he just an entertainer who has a lot of fans and can promote a fight and has fought lesser opponents, or is he actually talented?
As long as he continues to fight MMA guys and YouTubers, he's gonna continue to look good and shine. But once he fights a real fighter that can really fight, it's not gonna be that good.
Boxing insiders are largely dismissing the Paul versus Davis exhibition as a misguided spectacle, not a true contest. British heavyweight Dave Allen labeled it farce, asserting that Davis could flatten Paul while both proceed in it for the money. Promoter Eddie Hearn echoed the skepticism, suggesting Davis may be more interested in payday than prestige, positing that he's half checked out of boxing and chasing cash over championship glory.
You do fight, what weight would it be at?
195. It would be an exhibition.
Okay, so it was going to be an exhibition, not sanctioned, but no restrictions. You can knock each other out and shit like that. It was going to be at a catch weight of 195 pounds, 10 rounds, 3 minutes. I've been trying to figure this out. Why was I a Tank hater for wanting to see Tank go up 5 pounds to get some smoke with like Teofimo Lopez or something? I just wanted to see him go up 5 pounds and fight Teofimo Lopez. And all of you are saying, you want Tank hurt, Showbiz. You a hater. You want him hurt. Then I'm convinced, okay, he's too small, but he can fight Jake at 195?
Meanwhile, Dave Allen has been vocal about the coming exhibition match between Paul and Davis, expressing skepticism about its legitimacy. He views the bout as a spectacle rather than a serious contest, highlighting the significant weight disparity. Paul is a cruiserweight while Davis is a lightweight. Allen believes this mismatch undermines the sport's credibility and detracts from meaningful matchups. He also commented on Moses Itama's progression, suggesting that facing seasoned opponents like Dillian Whyte is essential for Itama to prove himself at the elite level. Allen's insights reflect his commitment to preserving the integrity of boxing.
Might be happening in an exhibition. The thing with Jake Paul, I think he's a good area title level fighter, and that's a good level. Like, you can be proud of it. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's good. But the Mike Tyson fight I didn't like. The Chavez fight just farcical because he's 10, 11 years past his best, up 6 weight divisions. But less of a problem because Chavez wasn't in his 50s. Fighting the MMA guys, again, he's fighting people that don't do the same, that they're not even in the same sport. But while they're a bit older, they're still not in the 50s. So all that stuff, I won't really watch any of it. I think I've watched one fight against Tommy Fury, the only professional boxer in and around his prime years, and he got beat. But I think his area title level, I think he works really hard, I think he trains hard, and I don't think he's a bad fighter at all. I don't think he's I don't think he's a good fighter, but he's not a bad fighter. His experience, he's not bad at all. But Gervonta Davis is a lightweight. So, by all means, if they make a few quid and nobody gets hurt, then great. But I certainly wouldn't be paying a penny to watch it. I think it's just absolutely ridiculous, farcical. Who wants to watch an exhibition? Gervonta Davis is in his prime years. Why is he wasting his time? Why is he not having a rematch with the fella he got a draw with? Why is he not fighting? Why is he not going up a weight and fighting Lopez and Garcia's and them fighters? Why is he fighting Jake Paul in an exhibition? I get the money's great, but he's in the prime years. This is his best year. This is where he can become. Maybe you don't want to be an all-time great. Maybe you don't want to do all this.
Boxing writer Keith Idec didn't mince words, calling the narrative of Davis ducking Jake Paul misleading. To frame the Paul fight as Davis dodging Roach would be inaccurate. The Roach rematch is Davis's legitimate mandatory obligation, not some evasion. Idec's point underscored the reality that the focus should remain on honoring existing agreements over sensational crossover bouts.
Well, I think as we discuss this, we should use air quotes when we call it a fight, because I don't see how any athletic commission, in this case the Georgia Athletic and Entertainment Commission, could sanction this as a legitimate boxing match. I think it has to be treated as entertainment to some degree, because you can't put someone they're 65 pounds apart in weight for the most part now. If you look at the cruiserweight limit and the lightweight limit, even if Jake Paul somehow got down to, let's just say 180, and I'm not sure that he'd be able to do that at this point because he's fought so high in weight. Let's just say he got down to 180. They're still 45 pounds apart in weight, and that's just not safe. So if this were to be treated as some sort of, even though they're calling it an exhibition, a legitimate athletic event, I don't know how you could do that, because it's just not safe for someone that big and someone that small to fight each other. That's why they have weight classes. And I just don't understand. I do understand that Netflix is into tentpole events, and people will watch this because they're into the spectacle of it all, and it will draw eyeballs. But does anything that anyone pitches that people will watch, does that make it a good idea?
Dana White has occasionally praised Jake Paul, particularly for his promotional abilities and contributions to the sport. In 2024, White acknowledged Paul's efforts in promoting fights and engaging audiences, stating that Paul is just trying to get attention and doesn't hate him. White also commended Logan Paul, describing him as brilliant for his role in bringing attention to the sport. Despite their differences, White recognized the Paul brothers' impact on combat sports.
Jake said that I snort cocaine, that I'm a cokehead. My rebuttal to that was, I'll tell you what, you can test me for the next 5 years for cocaine if I can test you randomly for performance-enhancing drugs the next 2 years. And I never got a response on that. But other than when me and Jake Paul have gone back and forth with each other, I've never said anything to defame him. And then when he was talking about his fights being fixed, I don't think that people are actually saying that they're predetermined outcomes, that they're fixing the fights, with predetermined outcomes. They're saying, if you're fighting a 60-year-old fucking guy that can barely walk to the fucking ring, right, and almost died 2 months before that, it's almost like a predetermined outcome. That's what they're fucking saying.
Jake Paul is positioned to defeat Davis in their coming exhibition bout on November 15, 2025 at State Farm Arena in Atlanta. Despite Davis's impressive 30-1 record, the significant weight and size disparity between Paul is approximately 65 pounds heavier and stands 6 feet 1 inch compared to Davis's 5 feet 5.5 inches, giving Paul a substantial physical advantage. While Davis is known for his knockout power and speed, the exhibition nature of the fight and the weight mismatch may hinder his performance. Paul's confidence and strategic approach could enable him to capitalize on these advantages, potentially leading to a surprising outcome.
Man, this fight has to be the most talked about thing that's going on in sports right now. And this fight has made us all hypocrites, really, and I'll tell you why. Also, I got to tell you guys who I think will win the fight and why I think Jake Paul wins the fight. I think either Jake Paul wins or it's a draw.
No.
No way.
Nope.
Since it's an exhibition, and we didn't talk about that. But you saw at the beginning, this fight is just impactful. And as boxing pugilists, many of us, we hate this shit. But as boxing fans, you want real shit, right? You see Tank Davis versus Jake Paul. But then what you really want is what you're getting out of like Brian Norman Jr. and Devin the American Dream Haney.
Show me my bitch. Show me my bitch. Show me my bitch. Show me my bitch. Yeah, I'm right here. I'm right here. Shut up. Shut up.
Security at, fuck
Shut
nigga.
up. Shut
What
up.
the fuck your security at, nigga?
I don't
No,
need
we right here.
Yeah,
We right
what's up,
motherfucking here,
nigga?
bitch
What's
ass
up, nigga?
motherfucker.
You a bitch, nigga. You a bitch.
Shit.
Yeah, all right.
You have Gervonta Tank Davis fanboys. I'm talking about huge fans of Tank. Turning over on him, I saw Tank Davis fans put up pictures of him as a clown and shit. Like, this is crazy. And I get it, I totally get it, but at the same time, it has revealed a huge amount of hypocrisy. Because guess what? With everybody talking about this fight, and I think people talking about the fight who doesn't even watch boxing, especially those who don't watch boxing, let's keep it real. This is a fight for the casuals, okay? But at the same time, with so many people talking about this fight, good or bad, the way the internet just erupted and all the socials just went crazy, this fight is going to be one of the biggest fights in...
Lamont Roach Jr. has strongly criticized Davis for opting to fight Paul in an exhibition bout instead of honoring their anticipated rematch. Roach expressed his disappointment, accusing Davis of avoiding him and prioritizing financial gain over legitimate competition. He emphasized that the boxing community was eager to see their rematch following their controversial draw earlier this year. Roach also hinted at the possibility of facing undefeated WBC lightweight champion Shakur Stevenson if the Davis fight does not materialize.
I told y'all from the beginning, man, that I got the skills to pay the bills. I've been telling y'all that. And I'm just glad I got to show it, honestly. I'm glad I got to show it. I appreciate, like I said before, I appreciate true boxing media. Some guys that didn't count me out. So that's just how I feel, man. I think I won. And I can't wait to do it again. I can't wait to dance.
Some prominent commentators have dismissed the Paul Davis matchup as absurd and far removed from serious boxing. Many scoff at the massive size mismatch, nearly 65 pounds and 8 inches in what feels more like a spectacle than a match. Critics argue the fight lacks legitimacy, accusing it of prioritizing money and attention over competition. They've likened it to professional wrestling, a stunt rather than a sporting event. Despite the hype, most observers remain unconvinced, questioning both the bout's value to boxing and how it detracts from competitive integrity.
Boxing Doctor News. Hold on to your seats, boxing fans. The fight we've all been waiting for is finally happening. Jake Paul versus Gervonta Tank Davis this November in Atlanta. But here's the twist. There's a massive weight difference. Paul, a cruiserweight, against Davis, who's never even hit 140 pounds. Is this fair? Is it safe? And get this, we don't even know if it's an exhibition or a sanctioned fight yet. But one thing's for sure, there will be a definitive outcome. So, who's got more to lose? The YouTube sensation or the lightweight champ? And what about those Anthony Joshua rumors? Looks like we'll have to wait till 2026 for that showdown. This is boxing's biggest mismatch or the upset of the century in the making. What do you think? Drop your predictions below.
Manny Pacquiao has expressed respect for Jake Paul's boxing abilities. In a recent interview on the Ariel Helwani show, he acknowledged Paul's talent, stating that he has talent. He can fight in a real boxing match, so he can be a boxer. However, Pacquiao emphasized that boxing should prioritize competitive matches over exhibitions, noting that exhibition matches are okay, but not always exhibition. We need to always have an evenly matched fight to entertain the fans.
Talking about Gervonta Davis as a possible fight, man. You like that fight because he's little, like he's your size.
I like that. I like that. I mean,
I like that, but you know, let's finish first this one because this one is a taller champion like that. So I have a lot of things to do in training camp.
Is there ever any possibility that you would go back in the ring and fight someone like a Tank Davis?
If he wants, and if he come up to 147, then we can fight.
He can't meet you at 140?
145 maybe.
What happens? You have a lot of experience, but he's explosive. What would happen in that fight?
Oh, that's not a problem for me because I'm experienced fight.
In December 2024, Davis announced his intention to retire from boxing after 2025, citing frustration with the sport's pressures and expressing a desire to step away from the spotlight. However, in a surprising turn, Davis is now scheduled to face Paul in an exhibition bout on November 14, 2025 in Georgia, streamed live on Netflix. This unexpected matchup has raised eyebrows due to the significant size difference between the two fighters. With Paul being a heavyweight and Davis a lightweight, critics have questioned Davis's commitment to the sport, suggesting that the fight may be more about financial gain than legacy.
25 is at the next year, I'm out of it.
After our second fight.
You're out of it?
Yeah.
Care to elaborate on that?
Out of the sport.
After our second fight. Nah, no, I'm gonna win, bro.
Nah, I could tell you my fights.
Davis just posted that he would beat the brakes off of you if you guys fight.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be down. Let's run it. Like, I'll be super, super down. I don't know if
Gervonta needs Jake Paul. Let's be clear, right?
Is there a height limit in boxing?
Davis, seemingly disillusioned with boxing, has hinted that this fight marks the swan song of his career. At a press conference, he declared, "I grab money. I'm out." Signaling his priority has shifted toward financial reward over legacy or competition. Promoter Eddie Hearn echoed that sentiment, suggesting Davis may be half checked out and motivated by money, not passion. This exhibition against YouTuber turned boxer Jake Paul may therefore serve as one final payday before Davis exits the ring for good.
Let's get back to it, man. Real Winners TV, like, subscribe. You know my slogan, man. Tank Davis, man, versus Jake Paul, man. What a great fight. What a great Davis and Goliath type of event, you know what I'm saying? Straight from Netflix. It's gonna be in Atlanta, it's gonna be packed, you know what I'm saying? The State Farm Arena, it's gonna be packed. I've been to ATL, it's gonna be packed out there. Tank never fight again. He's never fighting none of y'all guys again, man. You know what I mean? Once he get to 30, 40 million, maybe a 50, I mean, if he get 30, 40 million, somewhere around Tyson numbers, it's over. It's over, you know what I'm saying? I'm not coming back to fighting on Lamont Roach again. No, for what? I can't even get to them darkest places to fight this dude. He's boring, he's quiet, he don't say too much to get me going. Shakur Stevenson, the same thing. You used to be my boy. We used to be cool. Now when I got to a certain level, you want to fight and take my belt. There's certain ways you go about that, and that's why Tank don't like that nigga, you know what I'm saying? And the same thing with Devin Haney, you know what I'm saying? That's why he don't like them niggas, because they always cool, you know what I'm saying? So, you know how it is when you're young and you're cool, you think niggas is your boys, and all of a sudden niggas want to fight you, you feel some type of way though, you know what I'm saying? Even though it's the business though, but it's the way I go about these things, you know what I'm saying? But we can fight, get this money, and we both still gonna be cool, you know what I'm saying? But Tank felt like it was some disrespect there, so you gotta remember, Tank came in the game under Mayweather, you know what I'm saying? He showed him how to pick and choose these fights and how to get this bread, you know what I mean? He just following the Mayweather train. Yeah, he just doing it on a gangster way, you know what I'm saying? And his flaws is Mayweather, but you know what I mean? You know the words I'm looking for, man, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's following the footsteps of Floyd Mayweather, you know what I'm saying? Simple, you know what I'm saying? Get that bag. You'll never see Tank fight again. Why else? Why would he fight against? Who could he come back and fight after Jake Paul? Nobody, baby. Like and subscribe, you know my slogan. Let's tune in. Jake Paul, Gervonta, Tank Davis. We up next, November 15th.
Fans and analysts are calling this fight a spectacle drenched in cash, not competition. According to some, it is both disappointing and understandable, noting that while fans want to see real rivals collide, this bout will deliver a fat payday. Others blasted the matchup as cartoonish greed, a sideshow amplifying wealth, and even labeled it disgraceful, decrying its implications for Davis's legacy. Yet
every boxing
ring Jake Paul's ever stepped into has been an exhibition, in my opinion. Probably the only one that hasn't is the Tommy Fury fight, which he lost, because that was two guys, similar size, similar experience.
Similar age,
who had a white-collar style boxing match, a very raw novice boxing match. And I'm not here to dig into Jake Paul's boxing ability. I think for a kid that's got the wealth he has and is training the way he is, he's treating the sport outside the ring. He's treating the sport right. He seems to be putting the work in. I can see improvements when he's in there. He's still an absolute raw novice that would never ever get close to winning a British title, and that probably won't ever change. But he's obviously in love with the sport and the things that he's doing for women's boxing. Oh, God, you're back.
Does this matchup damage boxing's legacy, or is it the hype the sport needs? Drop your verdict in the comments.